Hi Caroline, thank you so much for booking with me and thank you so much for your patience. You are actually my third past life video reading. I have been moving super slow on them because they kind of just take a lot of energy and some days I'm just dead. So let me just jump really quick into the crystals that I picked out for you. It's kind of like the energy that I felt when I was looking at your chart, but really just trying to channel your lifetimes. I got citron. I have carnelian. This one's actually really interesting. It's pointed in an arrow. So I'm wondering if this is indicative of any past lives that I'm about to witness. And I also got here amethyst and kyanite. Now, the reason I picked these two, this one's more related to kind of like your root, your fire, and this one's more related to your sacral and your creative energy. Now, I picked these two because I noticed there wasn't a lot of fire in your chart. You were mostly predominantly air and earth, and when that happens I feel like it could be hard to, I don't want to say be creative, but it's hard to like channel that creative energy when you're so like focused on the material but also focused like on the mental aspects, because I did see you have a lot of Aquarian in your chart as well as Taurus. Like those were the predominant two. Kind of looking at it because it's really interesting. It has like, I don't know, it looks weird, but so yeah, so I did feel like you do need that little like push when it comes to channeling that creativity within you. And also more for like liberation when it comes to your sexuality and your sexual self. I did realize that you do have a like a cluster in your 8th and 5th house. Now 8th is like the self-expression, but the 5th house is also 8th is sex and the occult and the death and rebirth, and then the 5th house is more like, I don't want to say it's like solely relationship, but it's very much focused around that. So I feel like your lessons in this lifetime are to incorporate kind of or to be more grounded in yourself and your creativity. And I feel like that's probably why you were born a Taurus, because Tauruses experience everything through the senses. The karma with Tauruses is that they are extremely hardworking people. They're very uneasily swayed, if that makes sense. Like when you guys have your mind set on something, oh, they're kind of getting hot in my hand. When you guys have yourself set on something, it's very hard for people to kind of take you back from that. And the fact that you have not only Taurus is a fixed sign, but so is the Aquarian mentality. So with the Aquarian, it's kind of to revolutionize, and you have so much Aquarian in your chart. Like I feel like for you, it's definitely something you're going to, I feel like your lesson in life is learning how to channel that be bigger, be better mentality in the Aquarian, but also doing it in a way that's true to you being a Taurus. Because I feel like Tauruses, they are more hands-on with anything that they do, and I feel like that's very much for you when it comes to your career or anything like career related. You would have to be, the mental would have to be there, but the physical as well. I did read that Taurus is kind of they're more catered to work that is mental, but it's also physical, like bioengineering, or if it's more artistic, they do sculpting. But definitely with you, it's kind of going to be to merge the two. And it's also like a very it's a very physical approach to spirituality. And by that I mean maybe more working with the ground elements, maybe working with crystals, kind of just feeling like you're merging the two into one. And that's very much what it feels like. I feel like with you, your spirituality can be more based on the senses, and like getting your hands on crystals and working with them and kind of just feeling really connected to them in a sense that makes you feel like it's easier for you to gain. I feel like with you, you've probably been working on this for more than one lifetime, and that's why your clusters are set up that way, why you have so many clusters in the Taurus house, why you have so many clusters in Taurus, and why you have so many clusters in the Aquarian. So I'm kind of really interested in seeing, wow, these things are really heating up. I'm just gonna hold this one because I like how it feels. I'm just gonna hold both. I'm really interested in seeing what pops up for you when we start going into the lifetimes. I did pick I picked 4 decks. I kind of tend to pick decks that resonate, that I know will resonate with people. And for you, it just happened to be 4 decks. So here we go. I also picked up the Amethyst. Now, Amethyst is obviously about your third eye and kind of the psychic protection as well. But I feel like with you, it's kind of getting out of your head and really believing that you do own these gifts. I feel like tarot helps, but I feel like you need to really, really believe that these gifts are your own, and how you can, you know, again, connect the material and the spiritual, how it can elevate you materialistically and spiritually, but also having that sense of fulfillment that you're actually doing something for somebody else. And I feel like that's very much indicative with you. So this just, I feel like with so much air and so much earth, it can be kind of hard to connect with that. That's why I picked this Amethyst. I don't know if you're currently doing any work revolved or related around kind of like getting more in touch with yourself and your psychic self, or that part of you, but it's definitely here. So I have here also kyanite. Now kyanite is more for me because kyanite is kind of like the past life recollection crystal. I tend to keep it around during readings because I always tell people that it's kind of like bits and pieces. You never really get the whole picture, but it just kind of helps me. And I also kind of keep it under my pillow, so in case like I want to dream about something, or like just kind of to regress myself every now and then. But I don't always sleep with it with my pillow because then you can have some really wonky dreams. I always tell people that this is kind of like Avatar: The Last Airbender, when Aang channels lifetimes. And the way he channels lifetimes is whenever he has a problem, he goes to the avatar that has kind of already gone through that problem. And it's very, very telling of how past life readings work. You kind of channel a lifetime that has already gone through this in a similar way, and it kind of just gives you insight on where to go in your life with this. Let me position the camera a little more because I feel like it's gonna fall. Awesome. Okay, so today, sorry, I gotta let go of these crystals because I was really enjoying holding them. So today I'm gonna be using the Past Life Oracle deck. They don't make this thing anymore. This, I actually got it years ago. I don't even know if they have like a duplicate of it, but I'm pretty sure they don't make this deck anymore. So I got it years ago. But if you're really, really interested in like past lives and trying to get to know more of them, I really do recommend Brian Weiss. He's kind of like the godfather of past life regression, which is when you go into that, like, you take therapy and they kind of hypnotize you and regress you into that state. I did take it, and it was actually some of the best therapy I've ever taken in my life, so I highly recommend that. Oh, but before I start, I felt like I had a message for you, and I like before and after, for whatever reason. Like, I got told before and after, so it might be like a pre-message to the past life reading, or it might be just, I don't know, bro. I have honestly no idea what's gonna pop up. And it actually told me to get the Psychic Tarot, which I don't know if you own this or there's some relation to it for you, but this is not a deck I use often, so I'm kind of shook a little. Alright, so let's see. Okay, let's start talking. What message do we have for Caroline? Ooh. What message do we have for Caroline? Oh, man. What is going on? I think that's it. Yeah, one more. What message do we have for Caroline? Okay. So with you, ooh, we have patience, trapped in fear, and shadow. So I feel like whatever situation you're currently going into right now, you're gonna have to be patient with yourself, that you are currently probably mentally constricted or really unsure on where to move from this point on. And part of you getting out of this hole is doing some shadow work. It's recognizing those issues within yourself, so you can kind of move away from this period. And I feel like whatever lifetime is gonna pop up, it's gonna be very telling of this. I'm gonna keep these to the side just in case, but just remember what these are. So let me take a lookies. Okay, so let's get started. Now, I always like to ask what lifetime is most what lifetime is clearly, how do I put it? What lifetime is directly correlated to your current lifetime? There we go. What lifetime is directly correlated to Caroline's current lifetime? What lifetime is directly correlated to lifetime? Ooh. I knew it. What lifetime? Oh, man. I knew it. Let's see if there's anything else for you. What lifetime is directly correlated to Caroline's current lifetime? Okay. I think that's it. Okay, so I had already had a feeling. I don't know if you are particularly... Ooh, ma'am, this is some spicy stuff. If you're particularly attracted to, this feels like India. It says Asia, but I'm getting India. If you're particularly attracted to India in any sort of way, with you, and let me show you the cards. So I have vows, I have orphan, I have wars and battles, I have Asia, but I feel like with you it's India, and then I have baby, and I have communal living. So if you hear me pause, just bear with me, because I normally get information as I'm speaking. I feel like with you there's like a vow of poverty, or it's either poverty or keeping people close to you because of that. Not only because you're a Taurus and like that protection, that want, that need to be around people or to hold them close, but it's also because you have orphan here. So you definitely were an orphan during like this time period. I feel like this is a while back, because when I'm getting wars and battles, they are not fighting the wars and battles with guns, and like they don't come in guns blazing. They feel more like these are tools that they are using. And it feels kind of like this place is a flatland place. There's communal living here, so I feel like maybe this vow could also be of poverty. Let me just stop talking and let me, when I'm not sure, I normally pull out the tarot card. Let's see. If you're wondering what deck this is the Lover's Path, by the way. What vow did Caroline make during this lifetime? Oh, Lord. Okay, so we have... Ma'am, you got the Tower. You have the Three of Arrows and the King of Cups. So when I'm feeling like this is a vow, wow, now I'm getting it. But this is a vow of kind of shutting yourself out to the world, kind of being more not into your own world, but being more focused on providing and being more towards the material. And it feels like this was not a vow made out of like, it wasn't a malicious vow. I don't feel like during this lifetime you made this malicious vow, but I feel like you grew up in a communal living space. This feels like in India, everyone kind of looked out for each other. I'm getting flat plane. I wish I could draw. I'm getting like a flat plane, and there are like many, I want to call them houses, but they're not particularly made of like what we consider houses now. So I'm just going to show you this picture because this is a similar image that I'm getting, but they're a lot more colorful. So I feel like maybe in a dream you've already dreamt of going down these, like, it's like houses, but they're kind of like, there's like I don't want to call it a hallway because it's not a hallway. It's made out of like grass. Like, it's very strange. It's almost kind of like very, it's very woodsy, and it's integrated with like the actual houses. The houses weren't like huts, but a little better than huts, if that makes sense. And you're in India and you are a pregnant woman. And this is what I'm getting, that you were pregnant in this lifetime. And the thing is that you grew up an orphan. Like, the only people that you really knew here were kind of like people from around the village, but you yourself, you didn't grow up with any siblings. I feel like right now there could be like a hard distinction between you and your parents, or like an isolation, like you tend to isolate yourself from people, or those people that you want to be with you. It's very like, it's like a, I feel like you want to be close to people, but also you keep them close, but you also keep them at a distance. Like, emotionally, you feel distant in some sort of way. You feel emotionally distant, but you still feel the need to care for them and keep them close. And I feel like this is part of that vow. Your vow was to keep people close enough that you could protect them, but not so close that when you lost them, it would hurt. And I feel like that's very much what's going on here, and that's where this vow comes from. I feel like the way, what I'm getting here is, I don't know if you've ever seen those people. I have runes somewhere here. What I'm getting is that, oh yeah, what I'm getting is that you were not, I don't want to call you a sorcerer, because that's not what I see. It's those people that like grab the runes and pass them and they tell people their fortunes. That's what I'm getting. Like, you had your life, like the way you made ends meet was through, I don't know if you're interested in runes. I should probably pull a rune for you. That's what I'm getting. But the way that you would make, it wasn't really related to money at this time. It was more like trading and bartering. And for you, I feel like for you it was like this is how you would make your money. This is how you would, I don't want to call it, like, it was how you would feed yourself, because I don't see a husband here. Like, I feel like, I want to see what happened to your husband, because I don't see a husband here. And maybe it'll give me some time so I can find, because this is the rune I pulled for you, and this is aquamarine. Now, aquamarine is the stone for like intuition. It's like emotional. It's an emotional stone, so it can bring up those feelings. And yeah, so pull that for you. So for you, it feels like there was like this big, like, your house was very small. I'm gonna try to draw it. Please excuse me. You're about to see some horrible drawing, but yeah, I'm gonna try to draw it because of what I'm seeing. Luckily, I was keeping up with here. So your house is very small. It almost feels like there's like palm trees at the top, and then it's very open. There's like weird window here, and then there's like a bed. This is a bed, by the way. It's like lifted a little, but here, I feel like you've probably dreamt of this place. I'm sorry. I feel like you've probably dreamt of this place, but here, there's like a small pit of fire. There's a small fire pit, and it's like you cast your runes here. And you cast them, and depending on where they land by the fire pit is telling you something about the client. And I feel like this is like where you make the majority of this is how you get food, this is how you get like clothes. Oh yeah, I was gonna see what happened to this man. I'll probably send you the email with what this rune means, by the way. I want to see what happened to your husband, because I don't see your husband coming back. I feel like you sent him off knowing he wasn't going to come back. And I feel like I feel like this is how a lot of your relationships kind of, I don't want to say go bad, but I feel like you know the outcome, whether you want to admit it to yourself or not. Like, I feel like before your husband left here, I'm calling him a husband, but souls reincarnate to whatever our sexual preferences are. You casted something, like you casted these like, they're not even rocks. I feel they're like kind of bones or like leaves. But you casted this and you knew that he was not gonna come back, so you sent him off, and he kept telling you that he was gonna come back, and you already deep down knew that he wasn't gonna return. So I want to see who this person is. Ooh. Isn't that super interesting? Because I was just thinking how like it said that your goal was to integrate the spiritual and the material, and I feel like you've been working on that from lifetime to lifetime. Ooh. Yeah. Oof. Man. Okay, so man, this card popped up again. I feel like this could have been a person that you already dated. They could either be a Capricorn, or they're feeling like a Capricorn because there's a lot of earth in here, but they could also be like a Gemini or a Libra, but it could also be Gemini, Libra, what am I missing? An Aquarius. But I feel like this person will either be a Capricorn or a Gemini or a Libra, because I don't get a lot of Aquarian energy from here. And this could be somebody that you already dated where the relationship went south, and you kind of already knew that it wasn't going to work out from the beginning, but you kind of just went with your logical mind rather than your intuitive mind. I feel like it's looking like a hard time getting over them. Like you're finding it hard to move on. You have the 6 of arrows here, and then the 3 of swords, the 3 of arrows here, but you're finding it hard to move on from this person. And I feel like it's partly because you didn't want to let him go in this lifetime because of what happened this past lifetime. And if you haven't dated them yet, this is how it's going to feel. You're going to have an automatic attraction to them. There's going to be just like a want to protect this person, but this person will still be kind of distant from you, if that makes sense to you, and you to them. So this relationship won't really get off the ground much. But yes, you were pregnant, and I feel like now, I don't know if are you in your like mid-20s? Because I feel like this is the time that you were pregnant. Even if you may not become pregnant during this lifetime, it's going to be, this spirit baby that's around you is going to give you an idea, like a creative idea for to expand not only what you're working on, but also kind of to move on to the next step in your life. Have trapped in fear and shadow here, and that's kind of just indicative of what you have to work on. I feel like this reading is just gonna put you into that. But anyway, I'm gonna go back into this lifetime. I feel like as you get closer to giving birth to the baby, you realize that you're also not gonna make it. Like, it's just a knowing, like a sense of knowing with you. Like, you use your spiritual gifts in this lifetime to kind of push yourself forward, because there was a lot of suffering in the beginning. I do see you not being left by your parents, but you were orphaned very, very early, from like the ages of like, I'm getting like 2 or 3. I don't know if there's a significant event that happened around that time in your current lifetime, but I'm getting that. So I feel like maybe it could have been something traumatic that kind of caused you to distance yourself from people. But yeah, and it feels like you're gonna have to do some either inner child healing or some shadow work, but definitely trying to like realize that part of yourself. You knew that, it feels like this lifetime was the knowing. That's how I want to describe it, the knowing. You knew that you were gonna have to care for yourself in some way, and you used your gifts. These gifts were bestowed from you early on. I feel like around the age of 5, you kind of already knew in this lifetime. I don't know about your current lifetime, but around the age of 5, you kind of already knew that you had these gifts, and you decided early on that this was your way for survival. So you got what you could, which is from the earth. You got, I feel like there's bones in here, and there's also like twigs and rocks, and this is what you would use to kind of cast. And it's strange because you have an Aquarian moon, so it's like a weird form of divination that nobody really uses. And actually runes in itself are a strange form that not a lot of people know how to use. So the fact that I grabbed these runes is really interesting. I want to see what the overall lesson for your life was. Actually, I'm going to use the Sacred Destiny. Where's Caroline's overall lesson? Ooh. Dang, they don't want to speak. Oh. Okay, so I have embracing. Woo. Transformation. Jesus Christ, I just wants to throw everything. And wisdom. That is very, very interesting. So I definitely feel like you're going through some like an inner transformation of trying to come to terms with like this this vow that you probably took that's hindering you in this lifetime, and really embracing not only your gifts but how it could connect you to other people. It's kind of digging, it's really interesting because it has the mermaid here. It's kind of digging through that wisdom and kind of like realizing where this is stemming from, if it's from this past lifetime or if it's from like this inner child healing work. I feel like it's coming for you, and it's just really kind of putting 2 and 2 together so that you can be this person. Here in the transformation, you see the butterfly. The blue is the intuition, the yellow is the joy and the sacral, and it's back here you have the rose, which the rose is obviously indicative of transforming, opening up, embracing the crane. Remember, what does cranes bring? Cranes bring babies. So I feel like this is kind of like your couple first steps till you reach this place where there'll be a new idea that's going to blossom. And patience is going to be, you know, of the essence. I feel like with you, patience and wisdom is going to go hand in hand. It's what are you going to learn throughout this process. Like, you're going to have to be very patient with yourself, but it's also what are you going to learn and what are you going to teach yourself throughout it. I feel like if you meditate on this woman, she'll have wisdom for you to offer. I feel like you could just probably take some time and think of her, because I feel like her life was very short. It was very filled with a lot of suffering, but she found some sort of light in that suffering, and maybe that's very indicative of your situation right now, is trying to find your light through this like hard time. But yeah, I'm gonna see if I'm trying to see if there's any other messages before I depart. I'm gonna use the Mermaid Oracle because I feel like we're on the topics of mermaids, so we might as well. Please excuse, I promise you there's like 13 decks on this desk at all times. What message do we have for Caroline? Ooh. Watch your thoughts. So it's being more positive with your thoughts and thinking of what can go right rather than what can go wrong. And it's healing heart. It's, you have the heart of a healer, but for you to, it says you're a powerful healer, keep up the great work. But I feel like this shadow work is just going to make you just, it's going to transform you, and it's going to, like, I feel like this is like a stepping stone. Like, this is what I'm saying. I'm seeing like you trying to walk up some steps, and I feel like this is part of that. I feel like for you to reach this place, you're definitely going to have to try to do some shadow work and some inner child healing work. So yeah, so just trust the process. I feel like you've already gotten some of these messages, or maybe you've seen yourself cast these these, I'm gonna call them runes, but they're not runes. You've seen yourself kind of cast this in dreams, or maybe even seen yourself as a pregnant woman, and this is kind of indicative of that. So yeah. If you have any questions, just please reach out to me, or you could DM me on Twitter. I may reply faster through email though. And if you have any more questions, just let me know. Okay, honey? Thank you so much for booking with me, and I hope to hear from you soon. Bye.